Gonna be live. Be live. Okay, great. Thank you guys for joining me. This is Chi Talk, and today we're going to talk about what are the best practices to practice in the wintertime. Is there a different way to move in wintertime than other seasons? You know, this is Chi Talk, and we're talking about Qigong and energy medicine. And my name is Eli Cohen. I'm a medical Qigong practitioner and energy healing coach. This video going to be transcribed into the podcast called Awaken the Healer Within. And it's also on YouTube. So if you like this, you can subscribe to this channel and also click the bell button if you'd like to receive notification with any talks or any different movement video that I'm posting on YouTube. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your time and presence. And we are still in winter time, even though I'm kind of like went down south. I'm here in Palm Springs, so it's a little bit more warmer here, but we're still officially in winter time. And that's an interesting thing about in Chinese medicine, that every season we work on different practices and different energy. And I just wanted to kind of shed a little bit light on this, and in winter specifically. For anybody that practiced Qigong or any movement practice, really, it's really interesting to know what would heal us in this part of the year. So let's start like we always start. Start with a little bit of meditation. If you will, just kind of close your eyes and feel your body inwardly. When you are feeling your body, you're tuning into the felt sense, the sensation of this physical form and shape of the body. Sensation of the thickness of the body, the mass, and all the sensation within this physical form. Normal sensation, regular sensation, bodily sensations. That's what you're tuning into. And feel free to go and check different areas, how they feel in terms of physical bodily sensations. It could be density, it could feeling breath or blood flow or tingling sensation, or maybe pain, or maybe even numbness. And see if there's any area in particular that your mind is attracted to. Any area in particular that you feel more compelled to go to. It might be area of difficulty, of discomfort. It could be area that just grabs your attention for some reason. And investigate it a little deeper. So as you investigate it a little deeper, go with your attention very sharply. And see what sort of sensation you find in this area that attracts you to. What kind of sensation there's there. And where is the boundary of that space? Is it like a few inches in volume, or is it more? Is it tiny? Is it large? Start to define the perimeter of the place, or maybe there's no perimeter. Maybe it just kind of fades away on its own. Just explore it. As you get your attention there, see if you can also draw the breath into that area. If it's an uncomfortable sensation, then exhale from the mouth. If it's just a comfortable sensation, pleasant sensation that draw you into this area, then inhale and exhale through the nose. Visualize that the breath, with each breath, you are amplifying or you bringing good energy into this place. It's almost like you have a garden there and you're irrigating the garden, and the irrigation, the water is the breath. And as you continue this visualization, this process, the garden become more beautiful, the colors more vibrant, and it grows. Yes. From here, let's slowly opening our eyes. Beautiful. Just a little bit of healing meditation. And there's more people here. Hi, Corinne. Hi, Marty. Hi, Carla. Good to see you. So, so some Qigong, Taoist meditation. So we have a lot of visualization incorporated into it. Now, today we're going to talk about seasonal practice. Like there's people working behind me, but just ignore that. Seasonal practice. So what is important to practice a certain practice for a certain season or a condition. So Chinese medicine acknowledges that everything that happen in nature, we are being affected by it. Yeah, if it's too hot outside, there's going to be a lot of perspiration. We're going to be also a little bit more easily agitated, a little bit more impatient. When it's really cold outside, the pressure is stronger, and we're going to feel, if it's raining or there's a lot of clouds, that would reflect on our internal environment as well. Yeah, a lot of times we say winter blues. Yeah, people feel more depressed in the winter, and people feel more agitated in the summer, or more tend to be, and also it reflects on hospital visits. There's a data that's showing that in the summer, if people would get a heart attack, they will get it more in the summer than in other times of the year. It's just because the outside environment supports it, it taxes more of the heart. The heat, the fire element is connected to the heart. The heart is also we call the fire element in Chinese medicine. So too much fire, if you are stressed and agitated and it's really hot outside, something can happen if you're already prone to it. So our practice, our Qigong practice, will really reflect what's going on in our environment. A good Qigong practice would try to bring us more into balance with what's going on outside because it's impacting us. So for that matter, in the winter season, the winter season is being the organ that is being affected by it is the kidney. The kidney is being affected, kind of like the summer and the heart is very easy to understand. Also, the kidney is being taxed in the winter, and that also reflect in doctor and hospital visits. It's very interesting that it works like that. And also, we know the winter blues, and more people feel pain in lower back, and the joints are a little bit more stiff in the winter. So there's a lack of circulation. Yeah, there's more stagnation happening in the body. Everything is in hibernation everywhere in nature. And we actually want to be kind of like in the state, in a meditative state. You know, in Qigong practice, we would say that the winter time is a time to be a little bit more still. And the practices in the winter. So we really want our Qigong practice to help us in the winter, in these conditions, like low circulation, stiff joints, achy lower back. Not that everybody suffers from it, or winter blues. Again, know that everybody suffers from this, but this is kind of like what we want to prevent. And the practice should balance you. Yeah. So if it's really cold outside, we want to turn on the heater, the internal heater. And we have few heaters in our body. We have few heaters. We have 3 heaters, really. The biggest heater we talked about, is the heart. So the heart energy, a lot of time in winter, we engage with love, with joy, with compassion, with engaging with the heart. Also, practices that work on the heart energy would be very important in the winter. Another heater, yeah, we have 3 heater, is the Dantian Heater. The Dantian Heater is what we actually named it in, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I think we talked about the digestive fire. No, actually that was in one of the classes. We talked about the digestive fire. So the digestive fire is located just underneath your navel, inside of the body, and we call it, that's the digestive fire. So that's what cooks your food, what digests. And there's a way to engage with that fire, to actually improve digestion. And that also would tonify the kidney. So we want to have really warm lower back. The lower back tend to get stiff in the winter. So again, the Qigong practices would start with connecting with this heater, with the Dantian heater, with the heart heater. Another heater would be in the sexual center. Yeah, that's a big fire. Sexual energy is a big fire. And that's why people say hot sex. They don't say cold sex. Yeah, so that's a big heater also. So in the winter, we want to kind of open these fires and warm up the body and move the circulation from the center to the extremities. And really the practice would reflect that. Something else that is very important in the winter is stillness practice. So from the practice of connecting with the heater and drawing the energy from the center to the extremities, and this is really what we are doing in the winter season, we also want to connect with stillness practices. Because stillness practices, yeah, we are helping our bones and our ligaments. So a lot of times movements are very good, but when you want to strengthen the core and the bones, you would go into more of a stillness practice, a Qigong posture, stillness posture that, there's actually no movement. We call them, they're very yin, how to move in a more yin way is to actually almost not move at all. So there's movements that are very slow, Yeah, and that's water movement. So it's very, very appropriate for winter, but also just stillness would be the most yin type of movement. Also in stillness, there's movement. But what happens when you are in stillness is that the energy get drawn into the core, into the bones. That's what's strengthening the bones. So a lot of times, when we did the workshop a few times in the past on how to strengthen bones and the core of the body would be practices that are more stillness. Just try to hold your arms up for a longer period of time. At some point, they're going to start to shake. That shaking comes from within, from the bones. And that would really kind of strengthen. Eventually, you're going to feel very strong. So any practices that are stillness practices would kind of come in. You attract energy. So there's thing, and that connects us to the last talk in the past, why you move so slowly in Qigong. Because the ancient Chinese realized when you move fast, you extract energy from the body. Yeah, look at martial artists. When they punch, it's very fast. And if you do it for a long time, you're going to be fatigued. You're actually taking energy from you and pushing it out. When you are kicking somebody or kicking just like a bag of whatever sand, you are taking your energy and moving it to the bag of sand. You're moving it outside of you. So you're extracting energy from the body. So the fastest you move, the more extract energy, the more you can become fatigued. Also running, like jogging, running, you actually extract energy. You become tired. You're hungry. You need energy. You need to, not that it's bad. It's just a certain practice, And in the winter season, we want to not do that too much. So in the winter, we actually want to attract energy. How do we attract energy as opposed to extract energy? We're going slow. So what the ancient Chinese realized is that when you're going slow, you attract energy. When you're going fast, you extract energy. When you exhale, you move the qi outward. When you inhale, you move the qi inward. So when you exhale, see, when a martial artist kick, what does he do? Exhale, right? He said, ha, is even accentuate the exhalation by making a sound. And that actually extracts more energy. It's actually proven that when you kick with the sound, like with the ha, that's why they make a sound when they kick, the fist, the punch is stronger. Yeah. So when we inhale more than exhale, we attract energy. So not that this is all what we want to do in the winter. It's just a general kind of, like you want to go a little slower. And again, the slowest you go, which is a standing posture, eventually the energy, you attract it in, and this is what conserving energy is about, storing energy is about. This is what the animals are so, they're so still in the winter because they don't want to lose energy. Yeah. So we want to not lose energy, but we also want to warm up the body. Try to stand here for a period of time and you see that you're becoming very warm. Eventually, if you hold a little bit of weight, just squat a little bit and hold this posture, you're gonna generate a lot of heat, especially if you breathe into the lower back. So there's a little bit on winter practice, on winter qigong practice, and how to, I guess the talk can be also called how to store energy, or how to not extract too much energy. So in the wintertime, we want to, and this is also, by the way, why you want to eat a certain food in different seasons. So you want to practice a certain way, you want to move your body in a certain way, you want to eat in a certain way, right? You want to eat seasonal vegetables and fruits. So that would be more root vegetables, things that are growing underneath the ground. So they're more yin, like carrots and things that are under the earth. Under the earth, it would be more yin. Above the earth would be more yang. So you want to nourish. So when we eat something that is more yin, like root, it also attracts the energy inside. So root stuff like ginger, or onions or garlic, these things are going to be attracting the energy. So there's, in Chinese medicine, if you have some ailment that is deep inside, you have to take ginger or something that is growing underneath the earth in order to heal it, because you want the herb to go deeper. So when we want to eat something in the root, something more yin, is if we want to go deeper. So everything would reflect that. So our practice, our Qigong practice, would be a certain practice. Our food and the way we do more meditation in the winter. We are more reading books and things like that. So this is kind of like a general view on winter energy and what is the best practice to practice Qigong. And if I would like to invite you to class, I know that you're already coming to class, most of you, but if you are not, or you know somebody that have the winter blues, or feeling stiff in lower back or joint, this is really this is kind of an open invitation to come to class and to see how that works for you, how the movement in the winter works for you. So with that said, I'll just open it to a little bit of Q&A if you have some, or sharing, whatever you'd like to mention or to ask. And so see if you have anything to say, any question about this, or in general about winter. Corinne, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi there.
I have a question for you, because I'm surprised you still talk about winter, because here it feels like spring already. And I was wondering when winter ends with Chinese medicine, with traditional Chinese medicine.
In 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a
switch.
We're going to talk about spring soon.
Okay.
So I know. My partner told me, what are you talking about winter? It's almost spring. I'm like, I like to talk about winter. But we're still in winter, but it is very close to change into spring. And then in the spring embodies the energy of water, right? Spring embodies the energy of water. Look at the plants that coming out of the ground in the spring. They're very flexible. The fresh grass is the most malleable, flexible. Why? Because it has still the water in it. So it's a slow transition. So how the spring starts, it still has a lot of water in it. Then slowly it becomes drier and drier and stiffer. And then the bloom, and then the summer, and then the driest season would be the fall. But in the spring, we are shifting to the liver energy. So that also connects with joints, by the way, with joint stiffness, and a lot of people get in the spring or late winter or early spring, they get most of joint issues are in that time, in the early spring or late winter. And there's a lot of the shoulder season have become very problematic for a lot of people, because we can talk about it for another talk, maybe, that it would be interesting. Thank you, Corinne, for mentioning the upcoming season.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah. And 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 it is, everything is transitioning slowly. It's not just like 2 weeks and then boom, everything is that's why I said that the beginning of the spring is still, still a lot of stillness and a lot of the winter energy, and slowly it transitions. And other parts of the like here now, I'm in Palm Springs, and it's definitely spring here. And so for people that ask the question, maybe, hey, I'm already feeling spring, then practice spring practice. So people that live in a different climate should practice things that are for their climate. People that are in northern places like North California or even Canada, they're still in the winter, so mostly. And so then the winter practice would be very appropriate still. So it really depends on what season you are in. And some people live in San Francisco, which has a very it's almost no seasons in San Francisco, right? It's always like you can always eat a warm bowl of soup in San Francisco because it's always cold and foggy and all that, So, so I used to live in San Francisco. But so then you'd have to match the environment to your practice. That would be the short answer for that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gail, yeah, go ahead.
What movement would you suggest? How do I phrase this? Not just heartache, but in a previous talk, depression was mentioned, a certain amount of constriction because of worldly events, let's say, and it has an effect on the body and a form of retreating. I went to your spring movement because, as I said previously, my heart hurt, but perhaps there are specific movements that you might suggest to release, relieve, and enliven a stagnation or a constriction in the body.
Connected to more like depression or
any kind of emotional constriction.
The stress, yeah. I would actually suggest to connect with the practices in the fall practice, connected with the lungs. Things that are lung related would up your energy. The lungs are related to this, to kind of this condition that you're talking about. And so I would encourage people to also practices that when you inhale, you lift up your arm and you look up. So all the practice that lifting up your chi. Yeah. So in general, the lift, you want to lift up your chi. So it also is very good for winter if you're feeling winter blues. Movement that go from the bottom up would be more lifting up your energy than the other one going down. I don't know if that's but the lung practices, all the sequences for lungs, for fall practices would be really good for anything that has to do with what you're talking about. Yeah. And connecting with the heart, and connecting with and also practices that are all the movements are connecting with flying movements. So moving the arms would open the heart, would constrict energy from the heart. So anything that is going upward, looking up, and practices that are moving the arms. Flying movement, there are many different flying movements. There's flying wild pigeon, there's the flying wild goose practices, there's the birds, bird flying. There's different flying practices that would be very good for relieving constriction from the heart. And smile a lot and laugh a lot, and that's very important. And it's interesting. All these things that we are resisting, all these things that come into our life that we are resisting, turn in stagnation, and we want to see how can we be less attached to what's going on, around us, but also inside of us. I mean, that's really the practice. There's 3 levels of attachment, and that's the cause of suffering. That's very, very Buddhist. I'm sure you know that. But attachment to bodily sensation would cause in suffering. Attachment to pain. There's people that are more attached, more. They don't like pain at all. Nobody likes pain, but there's people that are really, really suffering. I think in general, they say that women's are more tolerant to pain than men, right? Because but men are not too tolerant. But the most, and there's people that always seek pleasure, bodily pleasures, so the attachment to physical sensation is one level of attachment. Then you have the attachment to emotions. If I'm feeling sad, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So the reaction to this would cause suffering. Or people that always look to be happy, so that's the second level. And then the third level of attachment is the attachment to mental issue. So like if you're a fan of a football team and they lose, and then you're depressed, or to a political party and then they lose, people that really like Trump a lot and then he lost, they got so upset, and so vice versa. So, and that's an attachment to thoughts and beliefs. Like you believe that this is the political party that's the true, that's the what should win, and then it loses. And so the attachment, so this is the 3 level of attachment: body, emotion. And how can we learn to be less attached to that? And a lot of times things are happening. The long run would be they happening, and good things happen after they happen. So sometimes something bad happens, like the coronavirus, and all of a sudden something good comes out of it. So a lot of times that growth or changes comes from things that are not feeling so good. And so I always ask, where is the blessing? Show me the blessing. Show me the blessing in this. And what should I learn from this? And that takes the edge off, for me. Okay, we went too far, philosophical talks. But that's really interesting. It's kind of like a way to, like, you can ease the suffering. We're all in it together. So we all feel the same. And I think, it's like, what do you do to work with this? And so, okay, I hope that's good. That's a good answer. It's from a Qigong perspective, from more like a mental perspective. When my teacher told me that, he told me, also a political party is also just an attachment to something. Another person thinks something else that is better. And why do you think your political party is better? And then I thought, what? I need to get rid of it. I don't need to hate people that love Trump or whatever, or love the other. I need to, like, you look beyond that. And so I think that's very important. I think that's a good lesson. All right, guys, thank you so much. Let's do a closing meditation. I hope that was kind of good and beneficial. Good to see you all. Let's come into a closing ceremony. Just maybe let's do a movement actually today. So let's see if I can do a movement in standing still. I thought about it. Let's do it. So we're gonna bring the hands here like this, but a little lower in the lower abdomen, and inhale. Flip them up, push them up, and exhale to the side. And bring the inhale. Continue. Look up. Smile. So we bring the palms, the palm face up. Inhale. And exhale. I'm thinking that you're moving the energy inside of your body. So as you come up, scan the body, lift the heart, lift the lungs all the way to the brain and to the sky. Look into the sky and back to the earth. So you're kind of fluffing up, you're scanning internally. Nice. And let's bring the hands by the heart, just like holding a chi ball. And here you can close your eyes and smile to your heart. Feel the energy. You can kind of pulse go in and out, closer to the heart and away. Feel the chi here, feel the energy here in your heart center. And visualize, make a visualization that is very beautiful, like you're holding a bunch of beautiful flowers, or you're holding a bunch of smiling babies here. And breathe in that energy into your heart and lungs. So the lungs and the heart, that's why I said the lungs. The lungs are the heart, very strong connected. The lung create room for the heart. So we say the lungs is the palace and the heart is the king or the queen, lives in the palace. So when you breathe deeper, think about you cleaning the palace, you expanding the palace for the king to have all that space. And you fill the palace with flowers, with good scent, with good chi. The king is happy. Your king is happy. Your queen is happy. Nice. And let's bring the hands on the heart center itself and feel the chest. And feel the gratitude too. Yeah, you can visualize that palace and the queen and the king inside. And your job is to take care of these organs inside of it. It's a whole universe. It's a whole universe. So many cells and organs and so much. And your job is to love this body. Nice. And let's open the hands to the side, palms on the legs, and open the eyes. Beautiful. Thank you so much. We have a yawn here from Edward. Good job. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. And it's really appreciate this. And thank you. And let's meet next time.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Ellie.
Thank you.